welcome to this demo. And in this demo, we're gonna be speaking about Python. And yeah, from the slide, this looks like the same. Before we come into how the Python is written, we have to understand that Python is a general purpose programming language. And again, it takes me to a question where if Python is limited edition? No. There are different modules of Python which are used for different applications such as machine learning, embedded systems, web development. For machine learning, there are different modules such as scikit-learn, pandas, numpy, etc. For embedded systems, a special way of Python is used which is called MicroPython, which is purely written in Python 2. Now, when we come to web development, there are different set of libraries such as Django, that is basically framework, Django, Flask, Tornado, etc. But there's a good news for others that if you are a Java programmer, you can also port Python in your programming because there is a compiler which is called Jython, which helps you write Python code for Java language. That seems quite interesting, but let's just go ahead. Before that, let's just go ahead and check what Python is, how it is written, and I'm gonna show you how Python is. Also, I want to show about the popularity index before we start, that Python is a strong competitor with PHP and Java, also with .NET, although it's not shown here. And with this knowledge, let's go ahead without wasting our time to a sample demo. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a demo what exactly we'll be building up. So this is an application, a console application that I'm using. This is Python shell. It is used for debugging purpose, knowing the output, etc. So let's explore what it does, and this is how the final project is going to look like. So I'm going to add my name, and I'm going to add dummy number, and I'll just add a dummy location also. Let's say Bangalore, which is in India. And it asks me if you want to retrieve an info. That's the reason I've put a abbreviation kind of thing, retrieve info. So if I say yes, or let's just say since we don't have put much of data, we'll just put no first and add more database to it. Let's say X, Y, Z, and I'll add some random numbers. The location, New Delhi. And it asks me again and again to retrieve info or not. I can say no again, and I can go ahead and add few numbers with that, which is it asks me the name. So let's say I put Akshay, and number 1234, location UP. And now for some reason I wanted to know, let's say I'm a user and I wanted to check the directory and know if certain person, a name with certain person exist in our country, or it can be a database for a country, it can be database of a house, it can be a database of a company, etc. Anybody. So let's just say now I want to retrieve some information, so I'll just say yes, and it asks me who you want to search for. So let's say someone asks me, okay, tell me about Akshay, what's his contact number? So I'll just type Akshay, and it sends back information that his name is Akshay and his contact number is 1234, same as which I have added. Similarly, if it asks again, want to continue? Yes. It asks who you want to search for. I say Sharik. No name. So since it's syntax error, or the input the input that I'm giving is not same as that I've put here, although we can always convert the input into lowercase, but we have not done in this to keep simple program. So I'll just put the same value. Okay. So yeah, he's Sharik and his number is 34543534. So it's not the perfect application, but in this application you will be learning how to use basic things such as list, if, while loops, arrays appending, etc. All these functions. So creating a function also. Now the benefit of making such projects is, first thing in this tutorial I'm going to explain you how to think for making a project. Also, the benefit is that you are able to use all your basic knowledge and able to apply logic behind those use case. Otherwise, learning some syntax is just not a big deal. There are a lot many tutorials out there on YouTube. You can go ahead and check out. So let's just see how do we do that. I will go back to this from this presentation, and I will bring in front of you Python shell. Now my main task is that I want to add three variables. Let's say I want to retrieve name, number and location. So we know that we need three variables, name, and in Python you know that you don't have to declare a variable name. Let's say if it was C, C++ or JavaScript, in JavaScript you would do var, but in C, C++ you would use int, string, etc. But in this you don't need to specify. And I don't know how many I'm gonna put in this variable, so I'm gonna declare it as empty string or empty list. Again, number, it is empty again, location, empty again. So first task is the computer program should ask me if I have to put username, if I have to add username data. Okay, so I'm the operator of government and someone comes to me, visits me and asks if this person is available in the data directory of this country or not, for example. So how do I take user input is the command input, and basic thing what we do, let's say what's enter your username, enter your name. Okay, and whenever you add an input, so you have to store that into a variable. Let's say it is username. Okay, same we do for the next thing. We ask the number and we're going to change this variable name to number and ask what's your number, and user location input, enter your residence place or simply location. Okay, now when you take input you have to store into these variables the list basically. Now to do that, to store any element in this list, I use append command. So this way it will be able to directly add into the last element ID. Or if you could use insert, but you have to specify the place you're going to be inserting that name, number or location. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say name dot append. It's a synchronous programming, just one flow, one line, and I'm going to append username, since this is where I'm storing my username. Okay, second name dot, okay, number dot append user number. Third I'm going to do is location dot append, it will be user location, and it's going to do the same thing now. So let's just see how it does. So I'm going to go ahead and save it, try one and save, run program. This is how the shell looks like. It's asking my name Sharik, number 1234, location New Delhi. Okay, and it has saved it. Since we are not running it again, which is the next part, and making a function is the next part. So let's see what this name variable consists, the name list consists of. I'm sorry, Sharik. So it has appended it. Now I want this program to run again and again. So for that we use something called while loop, while true. This is the syntax, and I want to make all this thing into a little, I have to put, due to the syntax, I have to put a tab or 4 keyboard space, which can also be some 5 or 6 depending upon your shell or compiler or your virtual machine. So how do you want to set in your options button? So I can do is I can press shift and select all these lines, put one tab, that's it, and you can do this. Okay, now you have to put this also in the while loop, since you want appending also to happen again and again. Control save, and I'll press F5 instead of going to run and run module. I'm going to press F5 and see Sharik, location New Delhi. It's asking again my friend's name and location UP. It asks again my brother's name and Portugal. So I want to terminate this command, I want to eliminate this, I can just press Control C and it's gonna end. Now let me check what do I have in the list name. So I have all these numbers, and if I want to have what is there in number, there are all the numbers, and again with location I have all the locations. Now let's just do one thing. Since this looks a bit of, you know, happening again and again, I'll just make it a little beautified, and I'll just cut this and define a function name credentials. I'm going to pass 3 variables: username, user number, user location. And the syntax allows and asks me to put colon here after that, and when you press enter, it automatically gives a tab a difference, and I'll paste this. Now since you have to call this function after this operation, so I'm gonna go and call the function here, credentials user number, user location. Yeah, so you know what's the benefit of using functions. You can use the benefit is you can use as many times in program. Okay, so let me check and see if it runs and performs the same operation. And I'm going to terminate it yet and then see if it saves. Yeah, it does. So now our main task is done, that we are storing some data in the database. Although it's just list, you can do the same for database. You can have your own database where you are maintaining it, SQLite. But if you are sending it to the main server, main database center, data center, so you can use MySQL beta database, which is client server model basically. So next task is we will ask the user if you want to retrieve any information, just we said. So we're gonna ask a question and take user input by using the command input and ask him retrieve information, or let's make it a little more easier. Do you want to retrieve information? And if the response given by the user is yes, so we will not make all the possible replies, we'll just take known reply, let's say yes. And if it does, we put semicolon or colon, and when we press enter it comes to the 9, and we put a flag. So question flag. Now I'll explain you why you need flag for now, but for now let's just keep it. So let's say we are in the question, we have put the flag. And now the reason is, once I have asked a question and I have conditioned in the while loop, if question equals to yes, we will put while information, while true, while question flag equals question user. We are trying to find the number and location of that person you are looking for. So we will ask again input. We are trying to ask who are you looking for. So this, now we are asking the user who are you looking for. Now the reason is we did this flag is we want to run this just in case if a user doesn't seems to remember the exact name, he might do certain mistakes. So we want this loop to run again and again. This way I can, if I just let's say if I want to break out of the loop, so this loop will run as long as this question flag is question. And if I want to break, I can just put this flag as something else, anything like not a question. So it will come out of this loop. So you're gonna see in practical how it is. Now I will ask if user, and I am checking it in the database or list, if this user exists in name. So first what will I do is I will try to find out the index where exactly it is, which index, like 0th position, 1st position or 2nd position, or 10th database or 10th line or 100th line if it is available. So I'm going to say if it is present, so I'm going to say print he is, or his name is user, the name that you enter, plus this is called string concatenation, where you add two strings, you use plus sign, and then his contact number is. And now what we will do is we will try to find the index of the user. Let's say we will try to find the index of the input string that you have given. Let's say in name dot index. So we have this user that you have just entered, and if you want to find out the index in the name list, so I will say name dot index, and I will find out where exactly is this the value is. Now this is just returning the index. Now let's say it returns 1, 2 or 3. So to get the value of third, what do we do is number, and we obtain it by 2. So this will return the 2nd position or the 3rd position in the list. So here we're going to go the same number and put square bracket for accessing the elements of the list. Now we can also add another statement. He resides in, again, location, same thing, index, which index, name dot index of what, user, and I will close it. Okay. Yeah, and if the user is present in the name, it will return if the person, name, location and number. Else it will print there is no such person in directory. Okay, simple thing. Now since you have done this, you have to come out of this again. So while this loop is running, we're going to ask another question again. Question 2, It's a simple way of using while if use, and we'll build up a good application for this. So question 2, input, do you wish to continue searching if, and we're going to put another question, another check condition. If question equals to yes, so let's just keep it simple. We could add more to it, but we'll just keep simple. So if question is equals to yes, or we can just say no, we don't wish to continue. So we will come out of this loop, while loop, and we say question flag. You remember this flag? Question flag equals to anything. You can put anything, no. You could put anything else. And if, so this way, this loop will come out, and we're going to put if question flag equals no, another condition, break. Simple. And let's just go ahead and run this, run module. Okay, so it says some error, so we have to put 2 equal sign to check the condition. Okay, again, we forgot to add a bracket here. Again, run. So now the same application runs. Let's say Sharik, number 12345, location New Delhi. Do you want to retrieve information? Let's just say I don't have much information, so I'm going to say no. Enter your name, Zubair, my brother's name, 4, and Portugal. He resides in Portugal. So again, it's asked, do you retrieve information? No. We have to add more data right now. So Akshay, his number is 93111, and then we have this location is UP. So you still want to retrieve? No. Let's just add more data. So let's say it is Harjeet, and his contact number is 675483, location Lithuania. And now we're gonna retrieve information. Let's say yes. So who are you looking for? I'm gonna looking for Harjeet. So his name is Harjeet, his contact number this, and he resides in Lithuania. Do you wish to continue? Yes. Who you looking for? Akshay. His name is Akshay, contact number this, and he resides in UP. Do you wish to continue again? No. Enter your name. It comes back to adding the database. So simple of this, and this way you can, helps you to use basic loops and to be able to do something realistic. So this way it's basically projects help you to use logics. So even doing this will require a lot of efforts, not just like hours, but still it will take 15-20 minutes of thinking. Although you cannot code all these things in just one way, you have to apply logic, and that's where you grow in projects and thinking and analogy and etc. But the bad side of this is as soon as you kill this program, you're gonna run this, and if I just stop, I'm gonna say name, it has nothing, so it's gonna again start from the beginning. So here comes the concept of database, where it stays for long, forever, etc. And this is also possible to add key value pair using dictionary, which could be more easier and also effective. But let's say it's a basic way. I wanted to demonstrate about how to use list, if loops, while loops, and a concept of flag. Simple. And basic other things like input, functions, etc. Okay, so this is for now, and next time we're going to do another project using a little complex things, and we're going to be using in further tutorials we're going to be using lambda functions, basic stuff, and mix and match everything and try to make a decent project which looks more realistic, and we use our logic, etc. So thank you guys. I shall see you next time, and if you have any questions, comment down below. If you have any suggestions, feel free to comment down.